Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our Friday evening service, our late service, both here at Temple as well as those of you who are joining us in video land. We will now have our announcements. Oh, no, candles. Who's doing the candles, please?
Dr. Michael Sheldon. Maybe?
Sampson. Dr. Sampson?
Yes.
Are you doing candles? No, Dr. Sampson.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cool with that? Okay. Thank you.
Page 2 in your prayer box. Do you want to light it for you? Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you so much. We continue with welcoming our Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yadadai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yadadai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela.
page 22. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give praise, Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds. Adonai, I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your design. A brute cannot know. A fool cannot understand this. Together, the righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no wrong.
Page 26. Yitkadal veyitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Le'alam ulamei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnasei V'yitadar V'yitadeh V'yitanal Shemei dekudesha berichu Le'ela min kol birchata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Please rise for the call to worship on page 28.
Together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Avat olam Beit Yisrael amcha havta. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
So the sages teach us that for the Shema, we are supposed to say each word with deliberation and full understanding. And so we lengthen each word so that we have time to think about what the word means and what it means to us. Page 34. Shema Yisrael. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol me'odecha ve'hayu harvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam lebanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha bebeitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshachbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam, al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kadoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, but that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, walking together. Page 40. 42 together. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, O guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. You guard our going and coming, to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית העולם.
Please rise for the Amidah as we continue together on page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Le'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rab le'oshia, Morir chatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed,
מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדום אליו, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We are on page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers, and there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Page 59. Together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot.
So we continue silently with the prayers either on the page or in our hearts.
Our thoughts turn to those who are ill or in pain of body and or spirit. We ask God's blessing of healing for all of those who are in need of healing. And in our congregation this Shabbat, we are particularly mindful, and we wish God to be mindful, of the needs of Carol DeVore, Boris Elkin, Joe Feinstein, Richard Hittow, Sally Keaton, Rhonda Coatzen, Wendy Nudell, Kermit Prill, Barbara Saltzman, and Judy Zimmerman. Are there any other names here that would like to add? Those who are thank you. Those who are watching at home, please add the names on your own. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim aleihem vayishlach lehem refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf, hashta ba'agalav izman kariv, v'imru amen. May God send each and every one of them a complete and healing and speedy healing of body and spirit.
Page 253.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm not okay standing where I am. Thank you very much. We have to do what they do in television studios, put an X on the ground. Let's put that lower confinement, which might be a problem. We are at the portion Akef as we move through Deuteronomy and towards the entry to the Promised Land. And it is in this Torah portion that occurs probably one of the most well-known and least understood verses in Scripture. It shows up here this week in chapter 8, verse 3, and it also shows up in the book of Matthew, for those who are familiar with the Christian Bible, or if you aren't, it still shows up in the book of Matthew. And it is the phrase, Ki lo al halechem levado yichyeh ha'adam, generally mistranslated as man does not live by bread alone. Lo al halechem levado yichyeh ha'adam. Now, this deserves analysis. I'm going to put my book down. I just wanted to read the text for you. First of all, what's the word lechem mean? Bread. That's true. But in the Hebrew Bible, the word lechem in the biblical Hebrew does not just mean bread, it is actually a general word for food. And of course, even in English, we use the word bread as a general word for food as well. But in the Hebrew Bible, it really should not be translated. It was translated as bread in the more generic sense. It's not just a loaf of bread. Although the way to understand this is if you think about the system of brachot, right? If you say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, it covers everything in the meal. And the tradition is that you say that when you're having bread, but really it kind of covers everything because initially the classical Hebrew, the word lechem covered everything. In fact, any Arabic speakers here tonight? None. I invited them. No. The word lechem in Arabic actually means meat. They come from the same root, they come from the same ancient word, but in Hebrew it comes to mean bread in general or a loaf of bread, and in Arabic it comes to mean meat. There's a very nice restaurant in Jerusalem called Lechem Basar. Meat food is really probably the best way to translate the name of that restaurant. Now, the other thing that most people don't think about is the context of this week's Torah portion, the context of that phrase. The context is that God is reiterating, actually Moses is talking about it, he's retelling the story of the manna in the wilderness. Again, the lechem refers to food, the manna, not a loaf of challah. And it is couched in the context of the overarching biblical deal, the overarching quid pro quo between God and the people of Israel, and presumably with other people as well, that if you behave yourself and you do what you're supposed to do, what will the reward be? The reward will be rain, and the result of the rain is that you will have fertility of person, beast, and field. That's basically the basic biblical deal. You'll be healthy, you won't get sick, you'll have plenty of children, your cattle will have plenty of children. Good time had for all. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to study the third of this week's Torah portion, which then takes this kind of general deal and narrows it down to a discussion about the land of Israel and the question of what makes Israel special. We'll look at that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I hope you can join us either in person or online. So in the context, God is saying through Moses to the people of Israel that, yes, food is important. The crops have to grow, the animals have to eat, you will have milk and honey, right? Which is another way of expressing fertility in the Hebrew Bible. But that's not the end of the story. And in fact, what it's saying is, in the first part of the verse, because this is only a part, this is not even a whole verse. The first part of the verse, Moses is reminding the people of Israel how God provided the manna in the wilderness. And Moses' concern, apparently, is that the people are going to think that that's the end of the discussion. Behave yourself, you get food, like you're getting in the wilderness, because when this is being spoken, the manna is still falling. And that's the end of the deal. Nothing else is important. Physical survival, quid pro quo, God keeps you alive, that's the end of it. But when the text says a person does not live for lechem, for food alone, notice I changed the translation. I don't want to think I'm sneaking anything up on you. Right? Does not listen that life is what it's really saying in our modern English language is food is not the end of the discussion. That living just to eat, even doing God's will just for the purpose of eating, it's important, but it's not everything. that there are other issues in life that are important, the matters of the spirit, not just matters of the body. After the biblical period, when we come to believe in the existence of a soul, a nefesh, or a neshama, we then can start asking ourselves the question is, do we have to worry about the life of our neshama, our life of our souls, as much as we worry about the life of our physical bodies? And I would suggest to you that the answer is yes. We have in our history and our tradition the idea that when the nefesh leaves the body, you're dead. That the body dies, the soul goes on. But we also have in our tradition stories like the golem, where you have a creature that is living but without a soul. And the Rabbi Shimon ben Leibel HaKohen asks the question, if it's possible for you to die, for your soul to live while you are gone, after you die, isn't it also possible for your soul to die while you're still alive? An important question as we're facing down the month of Elul in a week or so. Actually, in 1 week. What we do for the rest of humanity is important. We may not have any direct physical benefit from our actions in this congregation is particularly wonderful at social justice and at feeding the hungry. That may not contribute to our lechem, it doesn't contribute to our food, but it's part of the necessities. It's part of what God wants from us. Maybe it's what feeds our soul. Or maybe it's worrying not just about our staying alive, but somebody else staying alive. And of course, our concern for social justice extends beyond the immediate neighborhood to the body politic in general. And I'm not making a policy statement here, left, right, or middle, just saying that our concern was echoed in Jeremiah when he told us to be concerned about and pray for the welfare of the communities and work towards the welfare of the communities in which we lived. He was talking particularly about Babylonia, but it applies equally to any Jewish diaspora. And so, yes, we flip off this line, we do not live by bread alone. A person does not live by bread alone. But this is a good Shabbat, the Shabbat in which we announce the coming of the month of Elul, next Shabbat, being Rosh Chodesh as well, that this is the time of year that we start to focus, not just on the lechem, not just on the food, but everything else that we need to sustain ourselves, our souls, and the world in which we live. Shabbat Shalom.
So we continue with our concluding prayers on page 282 with Aleinu. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gdula li'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo tzam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachamim u'modim, livnei melech malchei amachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yosei haaretz, u'mal shemikaram b'shamayim.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember them. We meditate on the meaning of love and of loss, of life and of death. This Shabbat, we remember the recent passings of Lloyd Suter, Ivan Fiedler, Marion Gross, Boris Elkin, and Rabbi Fred Eisenberg. And our congregation remembers the yahrzeits of Etta Blechman, Kitty Craig, Dr. Kenneth W. Gitlin, Eva Lazaire, Frida Newman, Louis Redman, Dorothy Rohr, Bertha Solson, Louis Geoghegan, Isidore Weinberg, Morris Wigdowski, Libby Wilner, and Jack Zuckerman. Together, Yitgadal v'Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, B'Alma Divrach Yirutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, B'Chaye Echon v'Yom Echon u'V'Chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'Vizman Kariv v'Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Le'omei L'maya, Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yitromam v'Yitnasei, v'Yithadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shmei D'Kudsha B'Richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May God, who brings harmony to the heavens, bring peace to us, to all Israel and all humanity. Amen v'amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen.
We now would like to invite our board member, Sue Farber, to come and do announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us this evening, either here in the sanctuary or streaming. Tomorrow, Saturday, August 20th, at 7 o'clock in the evening, come together as one community for Healing Havdalah. It will be a time for us to give voice to the struggles we have all experienced, and through listening to each other, through poetry and prayer, find hope in the future. Hazan presents Michigan Jewish Food Festival on Sunday, August 21st, 2 days, from 11 to 4 at the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center, which is on Atwater Street in Detroit. Enjoy outdoor activities, art-making opportunities, and complimentary admission to the DNR's Outdoor Adventure Center, along the Detroit riverfront. Engage with hands-on workshops and activities designed for children, families, and people of all ages. Nourish both your body and soul with opportunities to purchase food from local food businesses, and be sure to stop by and visit the TKA booth. On Monday, August 22nd at 7 o'clock, Rabbi Denker will be holding a general membership focus group. This will be time to participate in conversations about what will inform the search for TKA's next settled rabbi. All members are welcome. For those who are not able to attend this session, there will be an additional general membership focus group on Sunday, August 28th at 1 o'clock. Please respond to the office so we know which session you plan to attend. Now, this is something new this year. Attention, TKA golfers. TKA will be hosting a 4-hole golf tournament. This will take place this Wednesday, August 24th at 4 o'clock. The cost is $250 per person and includes a barbecue dinner and an open bar. We are limited to 16 golfers, and I already know there are several sitting here today that are signed up. So, if you're interested in participating in this event, contact Daniel Mesa at 248-661-0040. Rabbi Denker will be holding another high holiday prayer book review session in case you were not able to attend the first one. This session will take place next Wednesday, August 24th at 5:30. Please note the time change, and again, RSVP to the office if you'd like to attend. Last, save the date for one of our favorite annual events, some more Shabbat, signifying to me the end of summer. This will take place Friday, August 26th, beginning with dinner at 5:45 and services at 6:30. Again, please note the time change. Rabbi Steve Denker will be in town to join us for this very special event. Again, please RSVP to the office so we know how many people will be here. Wishing everybody a peaceful and happy Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
So we're going to have you stay up here, Sue, to help us with Kiddush and Motzi, and we're going to invite your husband, Gene, up to do Kiddush and Motzi with you. And so we rise on page 5 together. And we raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techilah lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim, thank you. Janet will be joining us for the prayer book session as she did the last time, adding her perspective.
And so we say our prayer over our lechem with Hamotzi. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon.
Te'avon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
And so our closing song this evening is going to be Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ein nasa b'chesed kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiflot hakol le'va
לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, חכם שילה וחכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמזרע, ולא העוז והמזרע, והוא עיני וחי גואלי, וצור חלי ויצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, ועת תישן ויעירה, ועם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא, אדוני לי ולא יירא. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you.